So that's a brief discussion of what we do on, yes, oh, I see a woman over there. Oh, Misty, I'm so sorry, you're running like you. All right, maybe we'll stay on one side and then go to the other side. Yeah.
I love your ideas, Bernie, but what are you going to do about the partisanship that prevents any good Democrat from getting anywhere in Congress right now?
Okay, we're going to run a different type of presidency in the same sense that we're running a different type of campaign. So I don't want to get you nervous, but we're going to do it very differently than they have in the past. Let me give you examples. And you can see the example in our own campaign. Not so many years ago, I mean, we're talking about, in the last 10 years, when people ran for president of the United States, it was a very simple formula. This is what Democrats did and what Republicans did. You go out to rich people and you go out to their homes and you sit down with 20 or 30 millionaires and you leave with a few $100,000 and you thank them very much and you make sure, they make sure that they continue to have access to you and you do what they want you to do. As a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, you now have billionaires who can put money into super PACs to help elect the candidates who represent the wealthy and the powerful. So to answer your question, our campaign is a manifestation of what we're going to do in the White House. We're doing it differently. We have revolutionized how you run presidential campaigns and how you fund them. I do not have a super PAC in which billionaires make contributions. I don't want a super PAC because our campaign and administration is there to represent working families, not the wealthy. I don't go to rich people's homes to raise money. Don't do that. What we do is ask working families to contribute overwhelmingly on the internet. And the result has been that we have received more than 5 million contributions in this campaign, more than any candidate in the history of American politics. Okay? So, I use that wasn't your question, but being a good politician, I gave you the answer before I answered. All right. I gave you that answer to tell you how you can be successful and do it differently. So we're raising money, all right, but we're doing it in a different way. All right, now you asked me the question, how do you deal with the divisiveness, which is certainly very real? And the answer is, we bring the American people together around an agenda that is in fact widely supported by most people, okay? Despite what the media will tell you sometimes, on major issue after major issue, there is in fact widespread agreement. Gentleman asked me about guns. You know what? Most that agenda that I gave you about guns, most Americans, Republican, Democrat, conservative, progressive, not all, most would say, yeah, that's right. The NRA says no, most Americans say yes. 4 years ago when I was here in Iowa, I talked about the need to raise the minimum wage to a living wage of $15 an hour. And since then, by the way, that concept has spread to many states around America. Most Americans, Democrats, a lot of Republicans support that idea. Talk about making public colleges and universities tuition free. Well, you know what? Republicans can't afford to send their kids to college either. All right? Republicans are getting drowned with student debt. Republicans don't have any health care or are paying outrageous costs for the health care and the prescription drugs they need. More and more Republicans understand that Trump is wrong, climate change is real. You've had some conservative Republicans working on the issue of criminal justice and immigration reform. So to answer your question, two things. Number one, we bring the American people together in trying to create an economy that works for all of us. And I've mentioned some of what we do. Number two, I will be an active president, and I am prepared to go to states and explain issues like raising the minimum wage to a living wage, to go to Kentucky and to other states to explain to the people there what we are trying to do. And when people begin to stand up and fight for policies that represent working families, no politician is going to stand in their way, okay? So that is kind of, I know you're not 100% convinced, but it's not just sitting down and arguing with Mitch McConnell. It is getting people to stand up and fight back. And when you have that, politicians are many things. They're not stupid. And when they begin to see that people want to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, that they want Medicare for all, for their own political survival, that is what they will do. That's what our approach is.